Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown results, your WWE main event results, and other wrestling news going around the world. On with the wrestling news. Dark match main event for SmackDown was advertised as the Shield versus the Wyatt family in a six-man tag match. Don't think that one will stick because of what the actions that happened on Raw. ECW originals Mikey Riprat and Pablo Marquez both turned 41 years old this week, and today the 77th birthday of WWE Hall of Famer Gorilla Monsoon, Jason Jordan, and Ty Dillinger may be the next tag team to get a shot at the NXT Tag Team Championship champions, the Ascension. In this next video, WWE looks at Charlotte's NXT women's title win from NXT TakeOver, which I will do the results for that in the next video. CM Venom, the former tag team partner of CM Punk, has released an ebook called The Mighty LWF, Lunatic Wrestling Federation. A former WWE champion and Chicago native, CM Punk started in the professional wrestling business as a co-founder of this infamous Lunatic Wrestling Federation. And you can, it reads from the press release, oddly, this is official. His official WWE biography completely downplays this segment of the wrestling superstar's life. The real tale of what happened doesn't paint a complimentary picture of the popular wrestler. The Mighty LWF is an exciting and irreverent tale of friendship, family, business, and ultimately betrayal. CM Punk's version of the past was that he was the only one serious about the business and left the LWF behind because we didn't share his passion. CM Venom said, in reality, after his ego grew to uncontrollable heights, he attempted to destroy his friends, family, and the very company that he helped build from the ground up. There's a lot about the story of the LWF, and he doesn't want anyone to know. Learn more about the ebook, which sells for $8.99 by visiting this link, Amazon.com. June the 3rd would have been the birthday of one-time World Heavyweight Champion Ed Don George. Well, that was a long time ago. How about he would have been 109 years old. Bad news, Barrett suffered a black eye as a result of his match with RVD at the WWE pay-per-view. Well, I didn't notice anything on him, but Barrett suffered the black eye when taking a stiff blow from RVD during their WWE Intercontinental Championship match at Payback. Bray Wyatt suffered various cuts as a result of his last man standing match with John Cena at Payback, a match that many in the company were raving about afterwards. WWE has made multiple developmental deal offers to Scott Hall's son, Cody Hall. Well, Cody has turned down the offers himself, saying he wants to make a name for himself on the indies before making it big time to big parts. Well, we've heard more than once that Hall is serious about learning and making himself a name for himself on the indies and internationally before looking on to join WWE. Noted before that Rey Mysterio, who is dealing with a hand injury, recently had his WWE contract renewed by Vince McMahon himself for one more year. Even though there was no option period for 1 year in Rey's contract, this was done because WWE contracts can be frozen in the event of an injury. Apparently, there is more to the situation than Rey's deal simply being renewed for another year, and there's a potential legal situation that has yet to play out. Rey was actually looking at leaving when his contract expired a month ago, when Vince renewed it for another year. Rey is still listed on the WWE's injury list, and there's been no talk about when he might be back. Former California independent wrestler Brian Tannen, I don't know if this is a character name or the following is Brian Reed, has been given a new ring name. Well, either way, it's going to be Tony Briggs as he joins WWE's NXT. in the short-time future. WWE World Champion Daniel Bryan was backstage at Raw in Indianapolis this week. The rehabilitation of his right arm is reportedly going slower than they anticipated. In fact, one person close to Bryan said that not only is he not making gains, he's actually losing strength in his arm while doing rehab. Bryan's condition was a hot topic among those in power at Raw. Nothing more stated on that. Xavier Woods will facing on SmackDown, of course, Rusev. And in keeping with the theme of USA versus Russia, look for him sporting his old TNA gimmick clothing or ring gear. Look like Rocky from Apollo Creed. Well, it's none other than Consequences Creed. All right. Ric Flair finally went to Pittsburgh on June the 2nd for his for a WWE medical testing. If he passes the test, Flair is expected to return to WWE TV only as a regular TV character, not a wrestler. So look for him to be somebody's manager, probably when his daughter gets called up in his corner. Or back with Evolution since they changed, the new Evolution. Things are moving slowly as it comes to the return of WWE Tough Enough. Filming was supposed to begin the first week in July at the Performance Center in Orlando, but word is that could change. The key talents that WWE officials wanted on the show are not locked in and thinking it's becoming an issue. There are people within WWE who believe that while it appears Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are due for a run with the for the WWE Tag Team titles, they won't win the belts after all. The talk is that WWE will be bringing in up NXT champions Connor and Victor, also known as the Ascension, very soon, and they've already challenged for the titles or against a Shield or whichever member won from Payback. And there's a feeling that the Usos will be keeping the titles, so they will be facing the Ascension next month, probably in July. Well, the dark match in between tonight's main event and SmackDown tapings in Cincinnati saw Sheamus defeating Fandango with a Brogue Kick. Mark Henry visited kids at a Boys and Girls Club from Cincinnati. Noted earlier, Damon Sandow came out as Pete Rose and lost to Adam Rose in a dark match before SmackDown tapings in Cincinnati. One correspondent said that was in attendance that this was the best comedy match he's seen in 20 years of watching WWE. And I think I have a pic to show you. If I can get on the video, I did get some new software, but free version of software, well, they're all got a watermark on it. Well, it blocks out the whole video, not just the portion of the picture. WWE announced on main event that Daniel Bryan will be on Monday's Raw to respond to Stephanie McMahon's announcement about Money in the Bank. WWE Studios will hold a special Q&A and screening of their Road to Paloma movie on July 8th at 8:15 p.m. and at the 92Y Community Center in New York City. Actor Jason Momoa will be hosting. Tickets are available. Okay. Soon. In other words, tickets available soon. An $800,000 home owned by Brock Lesnar. I will post some photos in this video as there are a bunch of them. $800,000, and it's more than he's asking more than what he bought it for. According to the what he bought it for in 2003, $783,500. And the address is 2324 Copeland Road in Maple Plain, Minnesota. It's up for sale, and I'll post a link with that along with the photos. Lesnar bought the 4-bed, 4-bath, 3,247 square foot home back in 2003. The house sits on 43 acres with wooded areas, a pond, a heated storage barn, a detached garage, a hot tub, which is on his back porch, and more. And again, I'll throw the photos in, probably at the end of the video, because there are a lot of photos. Indie wrestlers Joe Pittman, Paredyse, Marshe Rockett, and OVW heavyweight champion Jamin Olivencia appeared on Raw this week as Adam Rose's Rosebuds. Olivencia was signed to a developmental deal several years ago, but nothing's happened to him. Women's wrestler Scarlett, Bordeaux, and Seleziya, Sparx were also on Raw as Rosebuds this week. Carter Seaton sent these following photos of a pre-Raw strip for last night's WWE Raw broadcast in Indianapolis, Indiana. He claimed he found it on the floor, which is very similar to what happened several weeks ago, up to a month ago, when Raw script leaked. And the photos will be, if I can do the picture-in-picture, it'll be in there, and if not, it'll be at the end of the video. Apparently, more news, Evan Bourne's earlier tweet about being with WWE for 6 years this week led to some fans to believe that he was gone from the company. Bourne told the fans that he will be back in the ring very soon and tweeted the following: "Dudes, I'm celebrating my anniversary with WWE. It's a positive thing. I'm grateful to be with WWE and I can't wait performing again soon." As noted, Bourne has been cleared to return to the ring for some time now, but there's no storylines. They just don't have anything for him yet. It was also reported before that they decided to repackage Tyson Kidd under a mask, which is apparently what's going to happen soon. And there was talk of putting Tyson Kidd and Bourne together as a tag team. I wonder if they're going to put him under a mask as well. Well, WWE shipped out 68,000 units of The Ultimate Warrior's new DVD in the first 2 months it was released. The top DVD sales for the first quarter of the year were Goldberg's most recent DVD, The History of WWE, Warriors DVD, Triple H's most recent DVD, and Legends of Mid-South Wrestling. I have that one. We noted before that there was a segment titled Titus O'Neil Package on WWE's upcoming DVD on Batista. WrestlingDVDnews.com reports that the segment has been renamed to A Brotherly Bond. The segment features Titus discussing how Batista helped him break into the business and their friendship. Wrestling DVD News has confirmed that WWE is going ahead with the DVD and Blu-ray on Steam, and it will be released on September 23rd in the United States and September 29th in the UK. It's possible that this will be just a match compilation, and they will release a Sting documentary as hinted at in the most recent fan council survey. Down the line, here's a DVD synopsis. The Sting DVD chronicles his entire career from his Mid-South days as part of the Blade Runners with Ultimate Warrior, back going in as probably the Dingo Warrior, as that was his character in World Class Championship Wrestling, through his last WCW match versus Ric Flair on the very last episode of WCW Ever Monday Nitro on March 26, 2001. The video features more than 24 matches in total, many never before released on DVD. This includes a combination of well-known memorable matches, as well as some fairly obscure matches, including encounters with Vader, Cactus Jack, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair. In addition, packages throughout the title will help tell the story of Sting's career evolution. Darren Young is back to working out this week and appears to be off his crutches. The last word on Young was that he would be back in the ring September or October of this year. His boyfriend posted a video of him at the gym, and when we know that he is still getting around on crutches as recent as 2 weeks ago, so he's making a lot of progress. This wasn't reported before, but Adrian Neville revealed it on the WWE NXT TakeOver preview show this week. He legitimately had 4 teeth knocked out of his mouth by Brodus Clay in a backstage segment on April 17th NXT episode. This means the injury would have taken place at the March 13 tapings. Neville hasn't had dental work done and apparently has been wearing a mouth guard during matches since then. Regarding Sting's status with WWE, word came out this week that the deal with WWE offered him ultimately ended up being similar to the standard $10,000 Legend contract without any other guarantees. Talks between the two sides were going very smoothly, and it said that they are still in negotiations. New Zealand pro wrestler Jade Diamond will be receiving a WWE tryout on their Australian tour this August. WWE has been scouting talents in Australia and New Zealand that are at least 6 foot tall. Diamond is 6 foot 2 inches. So Jade Diamond. Number 1 contender Tyler Breeze will debut a new music video for himself on this week's of WWE NXT. Next Tuesday night's episode of WWE Countdown on the WWE Network will look at the greatest trash talkers in wrestling history. And now for the results of WWE Main Event from the network. From Cincinnati, Ohio at the U.S. Bank Arena. The opening video kicked off the show, and then Pyro went off on the stage. Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton were on commentary. Bad News Barrett came out to the ring for a promo. He said he lost his tag match on Raw because Cesaro deserted him and essentially gave Rob Van Dam the win. Barrett mocked RVD, saying his brain is so scrambled that he points at himself just to remind himself who he is. He is like a bloody zombie. Barrett said he also delivered his bad news catchphrase and said that after he hits one final bull hammer, they will only use the world will have for RVD as if he joins the cast of Walking Dead. Barrett walked like a zombie while saying RVD repeatedly. Rob Van Dam appeared from out of nowhere and quickly ran off Barrett. Then they showed a shot of Cody Rhodes and Goldust backstage. The broadcast team said Cody had handpicked a new partner for his brother. They noted that it was Kofi Kingston. A quick promo that re-established how RVD earned the rematch and gave Barrett a chance to mock the babyface. While Barrett wasn't in heat-seeking mode, he didn't come off like a babyface as he does at times. As for Cody and Goldust, why not use the tag partner's identity as a little hook heading into the break? Granted, I'm watching on WWE Network, but the show aired on international television. A video package recapping Brie Bella slapping Stephanie McMahon, then footage aired from Raw of Stephanie McMahon addressing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship situation for Money in the Bank. The broadcast team hyping a Daniel Bryan update for Monday's Raw. Match number 1, Goldust and Kofi versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Bray Wyatt was not at ringside, still doing the injury angle or whatever. Though the broadcast team hyped that he will appear on SmackDown. Cody was shown watching the match on a backstage monitor. The broadcast team played up the danger of Harper and Rowan, saying that they were the last team that any duo should want to face in their first match together. Commercial break for the network. Harper and Rowan isolated Goldust while Kingston waited for a tag in the corner. Goldust came back with a cool sunset flip powerbomb on Harper and then made the hot tag. Kingston had an offensive flurry that included a boom drop on Harper. He set up for his finisher but was momentarily distracted by Rowan. Kofi went for the springboard move and jumped into a big boot from Harper. And then Goldust had to break up the pin attempt. Harper went for a German suplex, but Kingston landed on his feet. Followed up with a dive onto Harper at ringside. Kingston rolled Harper back inside the ring. Performed a high cross body block. Only to have Harper break up the pin. Goldust and Rowan fought to ringside. Harper hit the clothesline on Kingston and got the clean pin. And it took 11 minutes 20 seconds for the opening match. Good tag match with some star power for an opening match on main event standards. I continue to enjoy the slow story that they are telling with Cody and Goldust, the broadcast team, recapping the tag match from Raw that saw Sheamus and RVD beat Bad News Barrett and Cesaro. As backstage, Renee Young interviewed RVD, and he said everyone knows how cool RVD is. He accused Barrett of mistaking coolness for weakness. RVD then said, you don't measure wins and losses one at a time, you measure them over an entire career. He said he's the whole damn show and always will be. He said the Intercontinental title is going home with him. Commercial break. Okay, we got broadcast team hyping Bray Wyatt's return for Friday SmackDown TV show. And Raw Rebound aired and focused on Seth Rollins attacking Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Match number 2. Bad News Barrett versus Rob Van Dam for the Intercontinental title again. Tony Chimmel handled the in-ring introductions for the title match. RVD hits a somersault splash onto Barrett at ringside. And as the feed enjoyed the move so much that it showed it 5 repeated times. Here's hoping the software update will fix this annoying problem. Rob Van Dam controlled the offense until Barrett caught him up on the top rope and pushed him into the barricade at ringside. Commercial break. RVD came back back after the break with some signature offense, including Rolling Thunder. Barrett caught him with a wasteland slam for a 2 count. RVD fought back and went up top, but Barrett crushed him. Barrett set up for the bull hammer, but before he could perform the move, Cesaro came and hit the ring, attacked him to end the match. Paul Heyman watched from the stage as Cesaro hit the neutralizer on Barrett, and then RVD and Cesaro joined Heyman on stage, where Heyman told him, "Nicely done," to close the show. Wow, only 2 matches. Bad News Barrett fought RVD to an apparent no contest in 11 minutes 15 seconds. And they're setting up a feud between Cesaro and Barrett, a triple threat involving RVD. Or is this because 2 or 3 of them will be in the Money in the Bank match? Barrett seems to be clicking more as a babyface than a heel, so I'd be fine with a face run for him. I'm just happy that Cesaro walking out on Barrett on Money was forgotten. Overall, this was a good 2-match edition of Main Event. WWE doesn't give away any title matches on television nearly as much anymore as they once did. So seeing the Intercontinental title defending on the Main Event actually felt important. SmackDown results real short. We only got one for the entire internet. Dirt sheets. From WrestlingInc.com, Triple H and Seth Rollins started off the show with a promo. Before Rollins could say why he turned on the Shield, Dolph Ziggler interrupted and he called him a sellout. And then Triple H booked him in a match was up next. And then Seth defeated Dolph Ziggler. Oh, that's important. Oh, sorry, just like him. Match number 2. Tag Team Champions, the Uso Brothers defeated Ryback in a non-title match. Match number 3. Rusev defeated Xavier Woods, who looked like Consequences Creed in the match. Match number 4. Intercontinental Champion Bad News Barrett defeated Cesaro and Rob Van Dam. Bray Wyatt cut a promo that was shown on the big screen. He said Sister Abigail warned him that all this would happen. The only thing we've seen about Sister Abigail is his finishing moves. That's what it's called. Match number 5. Natalya gets a win against Alicia Fox. And believe in Bo Dallas. You can win if you just give 110% in everything you do. As long as you believe, you're a winner. As he defeated Santino Marella. Not much after that. He does his circle around the ring, victory lap, back in the ring. Normally he shakes his hand, or beats him down afterwards. Well, they just go to the corner now and like cut the feet to the back or whatever. And in their main event was Big Show beating Randy Orton by disqualification when Seth Rollins interfered, as Big Show was beaten down after the match. And the dark match main event after last night's WWE SmackDown taping in Cincinnati saw Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose defeat Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. As internet readers that posted the results had, whose name is Brad and Crunchy, sent word that Big Show actually teamed with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns to defeat the Wyatt family after SmackDown tapings in Cincinnati, which Big Show chokeslammed Luke Harper for the win. And now I'm going to give you the results for NXT TakeOver from 5/29 from last Thursday. From last Thursday on 5/29, 2014. NXT TakeOver pre-show kicked off with Renee Young welcoming us. She's outside of the NXT arena at Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. That is the same town that I participated in 1996 for the United States Olympics. Well, I finished like 32nd. After 33, it was a bowling event. I missed one spare, knocked me out of the finals. Renee is joined by Paul Heyman, Christian, and a bunch of excited fans. Christian gets a pop and says it's good to be out of hibernation. Heyman also gets a pop. He has a scoop. It was at NXT arrival that he officially signed Cesaro to be the next Paul Heyman guy. Heyman said he's looking for another Heyman guy or Heyman girl at TakeOver tonight. Christian talks about having a front row to the future. Heyman talks about Adam Rose, Rusev, Lana, and Bordeaux being at arrival and now making an impact on the main roster. Renee talks about Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze in the number one contenders match. She says Breeze has a few surprises planned as fans start an Olay chant. Christian talks about the match. Renee leads us to a video package on Breeze. We go back to the panel and Christian says Zayn is like the NXT version of Captain Charisma because he always has the best match on the card. We go to a video package for Zayn. And we go back to the panel and Cesaro has joined them. He says this match won't be a breeze for Sami. Cesaro talks about Zayn. Cesaro says he taught Zayn how to lose, and tonight he has to prove that he can win. We see CJ Parker out in the audience, and he's getting booed. His sign says, there is no Planet B. And then the panel talks about Natalya versus Charlotte for the vacant NXT Women's title for later in the evening. Cesaro has left the panel. Christian picks Charlotte to win the match and win the championship. Well, I was actually picking Natalya, and due to results, well, we'll find out. Probably wrong. And says that Christian says that also Ric Flair is also in the corner will help. Thus, we'll get the win. Then we go to a video package on Charlotte. We come back to the panel, and Christian does his best Ric Flair impersonation. While he does, woo! Christian says she can't live off her dad's name and says that she has to make it about herself in the ring tonight. Heyman leads us to a pre-recorded interview with Flair and Bret Hart talking about the match. We come back to the panel and CJ Parker is shown out in the crowd again. Renee talks about Tyson Kidd versus Adrian Neville for the NXT title. We get a video package of Neville. We come back to the panel. Heyman says that he has his eye on Kidd. He has had an eye on Kidd for a long time, and now he has a chance to become NXT champion. Christian praises Neville's in-ring skills. Renee leads us to a sit-down interview with Tyson, Natalya, and Michael Coleslaw. And there was some tension between Kidd and Natalya when it comes to who wins or loses tonight. Coleslaw said, if Kidd doesn't win, he'll be known as simply Natalya's husband. Kidd gets a little bit heated. Then we come back and Heyman rips on Cole for his couples counseling in divorce court. Heyman reminds us Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak. And they talk more about tonight's main event. Christian says that the match will be off the charts. Amazing. Heyman said that this will make you a fan if you're not already. Heyman and Christian then have been pretty good on the pre-show. Heyman predicts Kidd will win. But Christian goes with Neville, and we see the Exotic Express pulling into the set. Rosebuds hop off, and they're partying with the bunny leading the way. Adam Rose is out next with his megaphone. Rose takes a selfie with a fan, and that's it for the pre-show. And takeover kicks off with a video package. It's time for an extremely hostile takeover. We're live from the NXT arena at Full Sail University, and it's a packed house. Tom Phillips welcomes us to the show. We see Adam Rose and Rosebuds making their way in from outside. Phillips is joined by William Regal and Byron Saxton. Fans sing along as Rose makes his way into the arena. First match, Adam Rose versus Camacho. Rose hits the ring, and we see Brandy Eden Rose is doing ring announcing. Well, for those that don't know, oh, you better call me, bro, because I'm fixing to tell you. Well, that's she's gorgeous, and it's Cody Rhodes' wife. Camacho makes his way out. Rose looks on with a sucker in his mouth. Fans start chanting "Party Pooper" at Camacho. The bell rings, and Rose ducks the clothesline, and then dances around the ring. Rose runs around the ring, and Camacho grabs him. The counter holds, and Camacho drops Rose as Camacho stops away. Camacho keeps Rose grounded, but the fans start humming his theme song. Rose fights out of a hole, but Camacho knocks him back down. Rose starts to hulk up, but Camacho drops him with a big boot for a 2 count. Camacho takes Rose back to the mat and keeps him down, and fans chant "Party time" as Rose fights back to his feet. Oh, by the way, doesn't Adam Rose remind you of a young Stevie Richards? Well, that's just my opinion. Well, you don't agree with me? So what? I'm going to do like a rock. It doesn't matter what you think. Okay, well, back to the match. Camacho dropped him with a big boot for the 2 count. Camacho took Rose back to the mat and kept him down. Fans chanted "Party time." Yada, yada, yada. Camacho knocked him right back down, and they booed him. Camacho catching him with a big leg drop in a 1 count, and then a headbutt. Rose fought back with a big kick and some right hands as Rose dropped Camacho with a big right hand, and the fans start humming a theme song again. And he nails a big spine buster. Then they chant "We are Rosebuds" down on the crowd. Rose drops Camacho in the corner and hits the party foul for the win. Rosebuds come back out, and Rose gets back into the party mode. Rosebuds carry Rose back to the back as we see more Steve Regal. Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton dancing to the music. And Phillips talks about Sami Zayn and Tyler Breeze as we get a video package on Zayn. We go to the ring, and Eden informs us that Tyler Breeze has entered the building. NXT Tag Team title match, Kalisto and El Loco versus the Ascension. Then we go to the ring, and WWE NXT Tag Team Champions Connor and Victor. Now, the Ascension made their way to the ring. Out next comes the match team of Kalisto and El Loco in matching attire. The bell rings, and the Ascension quickly beat down their opponents. They go for a double team, but get sent out of the ring with head scissors. Fans are chanting for Lucha for Kalisto. They go to dive out of the ring, but the Ascension meets them with big uppercuts on the way out of the ring. They come back, and it's Victor going at it with Kalisto. We see dueling chants. We get a dueling chants for each team now. Connor tags in. Yeah, the rat face villain keeps Kalisto down. Connor drops a big elbow on. Drops that elbow down for a 2 count. Victor tags back in for some double teaming. As Victor tugs at Kalisto's mask, as the referee warns him, "What's wrong with taking the mask off? I didn't know there was disqualification or what?" Well, anyway, it's wrestling. They do what they want to do. Victor with a big chop and a 2 count. Kalisto fought back, and Victor overpowers him for a break of that. Victor took Kalisto to the top and then turned him upside down. Looks like Tree of Woe from the reading here. Connor tagged back in and stomped at Kalisto while he's upside down. Yep, Tree of Woe. Victor tagged back in for some offense on Kalisto. Another 2 count by Victor. Victor gets another headlock because Kalisto fought out of it. But Victor tossed him out of the ring. Connor throws Kalisto into the ropes. sending him bouncing back to the floor. Connor does it again, but Callisto holds onto the ropes and kicks back. He also takes Victor down as Callisto comes in for a tag, but Connor stops him. Connor rams Callisto in the corner and tags Victor back in. Victor with another big chop. Callisto nails an uppercut and a big takedown from the top. El Loco finally tags in and unloads on Victor. He also decks Connor and then Loco with more offense, but he slipped coming off the middle rope. Fans booed. Victor runs into a big kick to the head, and Loco nails a moonsault for the second rope, but Connor broke the pin. And then Callisto nails Connor, but gets thrown out of the ring. Victor nails the SCO on Loco. And Connor tags in, and they hit the fall of man on Connor. They hit the fall of man, and then Connor covers Loco for the pinfall. After the match, then we see Sami Zayn backstage warming up. We also see Tyler Breeze looking at himself in the mirror. They could take us through a video package on Breeze this time. Number 1 contenders match, Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze. We go to the ring out first comes. Sami Zayn to a pop. The old lady chance started up. Tyler Breeze was out next. The winner of this one will get a future NXT title shot. They go to lock up, and Breeze stalls some. They feel each other out and trade holds. Zayn takes Breeze to the mat and holds him with a knee. Breeze fights out and works on the arm. Zayn comes off the rope with a pair of arm drags. Zayn counters and hits another arm drag before taking Breeze to the mat by his arm. And Zayn fights up and out. Zayn hits a drop kick and takes Breeze to the corner. Breeze tosses Zayn out of the corner and then Zayn makes it back in at the 7 count. Breeze takes Zayn to the corner again and works him over. As Breeze drops a knee and covers for a pin attempt, Tyler bulldogs Zayn's face into the turnbuckle and then covers for a 2 count. Breeze continues to offense, goes for another pin attempt. Breeze keeps Zayn grounded on the mat with a front face lock. Zayn counters a move and tosses Breeze across the ring. More leg chance from the fans. Zayn dumps Breeze over the top rope to the floor. Then springboards up and moonsaults onto Breeze on the floor as Sami brings it back in the ring and nails a big crossbody for a 2 count. More back and forth action as Zayn hits a big sit-down powerbomb for another close 2 count. And then Breeze ends up hitting a big DDT for a 2 count as Breeze nails a big sit-down powerbomb out of the corner for another 2 count. Fans with "This is awesome" chant. And Breeze beats Zayn down in the corner with the right hand. And the referee has to back Breeze off twice. And then Zayn nails a big exploder suplex out of nowhere. More counters back and forth. Zayn runs into a big super kick to the face for a 2 count. Breeze with more right hands as both of them stagger on their feet. Zayn slaps him back, and Breeze uploads with rights and lefts. The referee backs him off again as Zayn blocks a whip. Breeze blocks the finisher and goes for a roll up, but that's blocked. Sami nails a big powerbomb for a close 2 count. Fans chant NXT, NXT, this is awesome again. As Sami charges, but Breeze escapes to the floor. Sami runs the ropes and leaps out onto Breeze, knocking his head onto the steel ramp. Fans chant holy shit and Olay now. Sami brings Breeze back in the ring and he misses a hell of a kick in the corner. It appears Sami got hit with an accidental low blow as Breeze nails the beauty shot for the win. Winner and new number 1 contender, Tyler Breeze, is. After the match, we go to replays. Breeze celebrates to take some self-pictures. And we go back to the announcers for more hype on tonight's show. Then we see Bret Hart backstage talking to Tyson Kidd and Natalya. We go to the ring and Eden Styles is introducing Lana. Lana comes out to the stage, and out next comes Rusev with the Russian flag. They come to the ring, and Lana takes the mic. And she says, like Russia has expanded over Europe to become the next superpower, Rusev has expanded over Raw and SmackDown. Now he's came back to NXT to receive admiration from the peasants he stepped on to get to the top. Lana mentions Russian President Vladimir Putin, and we see him on the big screen. And she tells everyone to rise for Rusev. He says, as usual, and waves the flag as Mojo Rawley makes his way out with an American flag. And Mojo speaks from the stage and says he's heard of a lot of hype about Russia, but in the USA we stay hype. He says it's time for someone to come to the ring and shove that flag up Rusev's putting as Mojo rushes to the ring, but Rusev lays him out as soon as he comes in. Rusev bounces Mojo and works him over. Rusev with a big splash in the corner. Rusev applies the accolade and Lana approves. Lana shows Rusev off and motions back to Mojo. Rusev tosses Mojo out of the ring and poses again with Lana. The music hits and Lana tells Rusev to crush him. Rusev goes up the ramp where Mojo is crawling back to the ring. Rusev applies the accolade on the ramp. Lana walks up and breaks the hold. And they pose again, and that's it as we go to replays. We see Ric Flair and Charlotte backstage walking to the ring. We get a video package for the match. We see actor Chris Christopherson in the crowd as his son Jody is a WWE NXT talent. And gets his debut, I guess. Diva Champion Paige is out to the ring. Paige says it's amazing to be back at NXT. She says this is going to sound cheesy and cliche, but she thanks each and every one of the fans. She means it. She says she wouldn't be where she is without NXT and the fans. She wouldn't be WWE Diva Champion without them. Paige says she couldn't be more proud to be the first ever NXT Women's Champion, but tonight we're crowning a new champion. She says this champion has to have strength, character, and grace. She says while holding the title, you're holding the key to the future. She says holding that can lead to this and holds up the Divas title. She thanks the fans again and says to enjoy the show because it's going to be memorable as Paige gets a pop as her music hits and she hits it back to the back. And the vacant NXT Women's title match is up next, Charlotte versus Natalya. We go to the ring. Out next comes Charlotte with her father, Ric Flair. And out next comes Natalya with her uncle, Bret Hart, and the Hall of Famer. Winner of this one will become the new NXT Women's Champion. Eden does the formal ring announcing. Bell rings in. We're locking up and tangling. Natalya takes Charlotte down and goes for a pin attempt. Fans start clapping as they lock up again. Natalya with another takedown. Charlotte turns around and hit as Flair is cheering her on. More back and forth and trading holds. Dueling chants for the crowd now. They lock up again and Natalya takes Charlotte back to the mat with a headlock. They lock up again as Charlotte turns another hold and around and takes Natalya down, working on her arm. Natalya takes Charlotte back down, works on her leg, and they break and Natalya goes for a kick. Charlotte catches it. And Natalya takes her down by her leg and applies another submission on the knee. Charlotte turns that into a headlock. Natalya counters with another headlock of her own. Then another counter by Charlotte. They run the ropes and Natalya rolls Charlotte up for a 2 count. Natalya with her body scissors right in front of the Nature Boy. As Natalya gets another 2 count before going back to a scissors submission. Charlotte blocks another counter and a cross arm breaker by getting the bottom rope. Charlotte slaps Natalya as Natalya slaps her harder. Natalya ducks a clothesline and rolls Charlotte up for a 2 count. Charlotte with a knee to the gut and then a knee to the back. Charlotte with a big chop to the chest. Flair's woos at Natalya and referee Charles Robinson warns him. Flair dances at the ringside as Bret makes his way over, smirking. Another big chop. Natalya counters in the corner. Charlotte runs her back and elbows her. Rams her back and elbows her. Natalya jumps on her back with a sleeper hold. Charlotte turns it into a setter for a 2 count. Charlotte with another 2 count when she gets frustrated and slams Natalya's head into the mat. Charlotte with a big boot to the chin and slam out of the corner for another pin attempt. Charlotte with a figure 4 headlock, which William Regal says it's not a head scissors. Charlotte slams her for another 2 count. Charlotte with an abdominal stretch, and Natalya turns it around into an abdominal stretch of her own. Charlotte broke free and nails a drop kick for a 2 count. More back and forth action as Natalya with a butterfly suplex. And Natalya with a snap mare. She runs, steps on the back of Charlotte's head, and then drop kicks her for a near 2 count. Natalya ended up knocking Charlotte from the apron to the floor as Charlotte holds on to Natalya's ankle and pulls her down. Charlotte dropped Natalya on the back of her head onto the floor. Charlotte brought her back in the ring for a 2 count. Charlotte then stopped and goes to the top rope. And she misses a moonsault, and Natalya rolled out of the ring as Flair started to get hyped at ringside. As Brett tries to rally, the crowd, fans chant, "This is awesome" again as they get to their feet. Natalya with a big clothesline for a 2 count. Natalya goes for a sharpshooter and gets it locked in. Charlotte crawls to the rope in front of Rick, but Natalya pulls her back in the middle of the ring. Charlotte counters and applies the figure 4. Natalya turns it over and they start slapping each other. They roll back to the middle of the ring, and Natalya has control of the hold now. They roll again, and Natalya slaps Charlotte again. Charlotte with a big slap for herself. Natalya tightened the hold. Charlotte rolled to the bottom rope, but falls out of the ring. Still with a figure 4 applied with Natalya hanging on from the ring. The hold is finally broken, and they both fall out to the floor. Charlotte gets up and kicks Natalya's knee into steel steps. Charlotte brings Natalya back in the ring and does a big woo. She stops, looks at Brett, and applies a sharpshooter on Natalya. Natalya crawls for the rope, but Charlotte pulls her back. Natalya rolls through and goes for a sharpshooter, but Charlotte kicks her off. Charlotte hits the bow down to the Queen for the win and the title. Winner and new NXT champion, Charlotte. After the match, Ric Flair comes into the ring to celebrate with Charlotte. Bret Hart also came in. Natalya and Charlotte hug. Bret and Rick shake hands and hug. Flair also hugs Natalya and Bret hugs Charlotte. Flair is emotional, as is Charlotte. As she poses with the title as we go to replay, Rick raises Charlotte's hand and they hug before leaving together. Charlotte comes back to ringside and goes back in the ring to pose with the title some more. As Flair claps on ringside and is still crying, they head to the stage and pose with the title one more time before heading to the back. Then we get a video package with Adrian Neville talking about tonight's main event. We see also Tyson Kidd warming up. An emotional Natalya walks up and they hug. NXT title match, Tyson Kidd versus Adrian Neville. We go to the ring, out comes Tyson to a nice reaction. WWE NXT champion Adrian Neville was out next to a big pop. Eden does some more ring announcing, ring introductions. The bell rings and they do a stare down. They lock up and tangle into the ropes and then to the corner. The referee orders them to break it up, and Kidd then backs off. Kidd offers his hand, and then they shake. Kidd pulls him in, and they have some friendly competitive words. They lock up, and Kidd takes Neville to the mat. More counters. They break, and Kidd drops Neville to the mat. They lock up, and Kidd works on the arm. Neville goes to counter, but Kidd blocks it and sends him to the mat with a hold. More back and forth on the mat, and they run the ropes, and Kidd catapults. But Neville lands on his feet. More counters. They drop kick each other and land on their feet for another stare down. And more trash talking. Mirror images, says Phillips. Kidd with a big right hand to the face, sending Neville to the mat. Kidd whips Neville hard into the corner as he goes down. Kidd turns Neville upside down in the corner and works him over with kicks. Kidd with a drop kick, then drops Neville with an elbow drop for a 2 count. Kidd goes back to the headlock, and Neville tries to fight back, but Kidd drops him on the top rope and drop kicks him again. Neville ends up on the floor, and Kidd leaps out on top of him, taking him down on the steel. Probably steel steps. Kidd brings him back in the ring for a 2 count, and then Kidd gets a knee drop and a headlock. And then Kidd runs into a boot in the corner. Neville ducks the clothesline, and they collide in midair. And they both go down. More back and forth action as Neville takes control and hits a low drop kick for a 2 count. Neville gets a forearm from the top for another 2 count. Kidd falls back and kicks Neville in the face. Neville drop kicks him to the floor, and then Neville runs the ropes and goes to dive out, but runs into a kick to the head. Kidd covers for a 2 count. Kidd goes to the top, but Neville knocks him down. Neville climbs up for a superplex, but Kidd fought him off. Kidd went for the powerbomb from the top, but Neville jumped off and landed on his feet. Neville with a big sit-down powerbomb for 2. As Neville with a kick to the face, and more kicks as Neville leaped on the ropes, but Kidd jumped up right behind him and nailed him with a side Russian leg sweep from the second rope. Kidd covered for a 2 count, and then Kidd went to the top again and landed on his feet and avoids Neville's knees. Neville blocked the submission with a 2 count of his own. Kid gets a kick to the head and drop kick to the head. Neville blocks a suplex and goes for one of his own, but they tumble over the top rope and out to the floor. Fans chant NXT as the referee begins counting. And they make it in by the down count, but are still down. So the referee counts again. Like a last man standing, then they use each other to stand up and trade shots. Neville then ducked a clothesline but got hit. The Kid goes for a sharpshooter, but barely gets it applied. Neville tries to counter, but Kid applies the dungeon lock and kicks him in the face as he tightens the hold. Neville's eyes begin to close as the referee checks on him. Neville finally makes it to the bottom rope, and the hold is finally broken. Neville ends up hanging halfway on the middle rope. Kid goes to the top rope, flips and nails a leg drop while Neville is hanging. 2 count for Kid. Kid knocks Neville from the top rope now. As Neville runs back and launches Kid across the ring. Neville goes back up and nails the Red Arrow for the win. So winner still champion Adrian Neville. After the match, Neville celebrates with his title as we go to replays. We come back to the ring and Neville is wearing his title. The smoke comes from the rafters as Kid looks on from the corner. Neville looks at him and goes back to celebrating before we get another replay of the Red Arrow. The music stops and fans cheer as Neville approaches Kid. He offers his hand for a shake. Kid bumps into him and keeps walking out of the ring as the fans start booing. Neville's music hits again as we get one more replay of the Red Arrow. Takeover goes off the air with Neville posing with the NXT title. Well, afterwards, NXT Takeover Fallout post-show opened up with Regal, Phillips, and Saxon, and the show highlighted a recap of what happened on tonight's show. Regal says he spent 31 years making a living in this industry, and he's truly honored to witness Takeover. He says it was a very special night. They talk about the women's title match, and they praise both Natalya and Charlotte. Regal calls the main event a human chess game, and they discuss Neville versus Kid. As Regal says, Kid feels like the loneliest man on earth right now. We go outside to Renee Young and Paul Heyman with a bunch of fans. Heyman asked the fans if the show delivered, and they got a yes chant started. Renee asked Heyman if he found his new Paul Heyman guy or girl tonight. Heyman pleads the fifth and doesn't want to spill the beans. Renee brings out our first guest, Triple H, and he comes out to a big pop with his music. Triple H asked the fans what they thought of the show. They popped, and he said, Heyman is right. It's all about what the fans think. He says this is their show. They create it. They are part of it, and it's all about NXT Universe. NXT chant gets going. Triple H says he feels like a proud father tonight. He's amazed by the kids and their passion and desire. He says he was amazed at the Breeze versus Zayn match. Triple H congratulates Charlotte and Natalya. He says they will see the next NXT Live special. Triple H says sometime towards the end of the summer or fall. He says that the plan is to do the special quarterly. Another fan tweet asked what match stole the show. In his opinion, he agrees with Heyman that the whole night stole the show. He says NXT stole the show. He says it's truly like NXT is taking over WWE, and tonight was a prime example of that. He says it again, and the whole night stole the show. Renee thanks Triple H for joining the panel, and he thanks the fans, and they start chanting his name. Triple H says the fans are NXT. He thanks them for always being there, believing and supporting Triple H, then exits the panel. Sami Zayn joins the panel next. He starts talking about saying big ole, chance breakout. He says reactions like that keep him going. Renee talks about him getting the same reaction on WWE's recent European tour. Sami says that it's amazing and a testament at how the NXT brand has grown. We're interrupted by music, and out comes Adam Rose with Rosebuds. They all dance around the panel. Renee is flustered, and Heyman doesn't seem very amused. Rose tells Sami not to be such a grumpy pants. Sami says he didn't realize he was being one, but he will try and cheer himself up. Rose says Sami should not be a lemon, it should be a rosebud. He asked the fans if Sami should be a Rosebud, and they chant that he should. Sami comes from around the panel and starts dancing with Rose. And Renee asks Heyman if he doesn't want to get involved. Heyman said he enjoys being a lemon. Sami leaves with the Rosebuds, and it's just Heyman and Renee. Now, as Heyman still isn't abused, Renee gets the crowd riled up again before bringing out Natalya to the big pop. Natalya says, yes, this was the most difficult match of her career. It wasn't a piece of cake that somebody could check on. Renee gets the crowd riled up, and again, before bringing out Natalya to a big pop, Natalya says, yes. Okay, well, look back a line. Renee asked what advice Bret Hart gave her before the match. Told her to fight with her heart because it's about passion, family, honor, and respect. She says she fought with her heart and feels like that she won too. What's she doing? Taking the bow? Is she a bow lever? Natalya says Charlotte brought out the best of her. And out next comes the new NXT champion, Charlotte herself. A fan tweet asked Charlotte who she's most looking forward to defending against. Fans chant for Natalya, and there's a shout out for Bayley. Natalya says it's just getting started between her and Charlotte. Natalya is open to going for both titles. Charlotte says that the title isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Another question asked Charlotte what her strategy was going into the match, and she said that she really didn't have one. She just gave her all. She was inspired when Paige won her first title and said that it would be her. Heyman praises the match, and the fans started a yes chant. Charlotte exited the panel. Heyman joked that Natalya should hit Charlotte since her back is turned. Heyman reminded us that Brock Lesnar entered the street. Natalya exited the panel. And the next guest was Tyson Kidd. Natalya tries to hug Kidd, but he keeps walking and limping over to the panel. Renee asks how he is, but Heyman cut her off. Heyman could see Kidd was upset because he lost. Heyman said he will be diplomatic and asks how upset Kidd is. Kidd doesn't speak and just drops the mic. He walks off and brushes Natalya away. He comes back to the panel and says it's hard because they fight with passion and with their heart. Heyman says once again she answers the questions for her husband. Heyman asks if you marry into the Hart family, do you get neutered before and or after the wedding? Natalya says everybody won tonight and is upset at Heyman. Renee says that Heyman is a little aggressive. Natalya exited the panel again, and NXT champion Adrian Neville was out next to a big pop. Heyman offered him a seat beside Renee, saying that the champ deserved the best seat in the house, but he hesitates, and Neville thanks him and comes out. And out comes Tyler Breeze to interrupt that. Breeze lays across the table and reminds Neville that he's the #1 contender to the title. Breeze takes a selfie and walks off as Renee congratulates Neville and he apologizes for Breeze. Neville poses for the fans, and that's it for the post show, and that's it for my video. See you what about to be. Stay tuned next. Same time, same 3-4 times, same 3-4 channel. And if you don't believe, well, it's your damn luck. And also my catchphrase. If you didn't know, you better call me, bro.